Hey everyone, Frank Menard here from the Menard Team Coaching, powered by the Napoleon Hill Institute. Hey, welcome to today's video. Today I'd like to share with you something that actually was shared with me probably about 25 years ago. And it was when I was working with my very first coach. I was being coached in my real estate business. And my coach actually said, there are three levels of life that we work our way through. And I call it the four S's: um, survival, stability, success, and significance. So today's video is going from survival to significance. Let's talk about survival first. I think what we need to understand, when I say the word survival, I automatically think, oh my gosh, if I don't do something, I'm going to die. I need to survive. But I want you to look at survival, the word survival, in a little bit of a different way. Survival is really the opportunity that we have to start to lay the foundation for the person that we're going to become. Now, all of us, at one point in time, had to leave home. For me, it was at age 18. For some, it's younger, some it's older. And it doesn't really matter when it happens, but when it does happen, that's when we start at the survival level of trying to make our own life. Happens in business as well. When we start a new business, you start out in survival mode. There may be some resources there, but they're probably limited. And so we have to make sure that we're very careful about what we do with our resources. We also need to learn how to adapt, being able to adapt to different situations, challenges, circumstances that we might face during that first year or two, maybe longer, maybe less, of trying to survive this new way of living. All right. So being able to adapt. Marine Corps, we have the saying, adapt, overcome, and improvise. When things happen, adapt your situation, figure things out, and then overcome the obstacle and move forward. Sometimes it requires a lot of improvisation, right? Also think about your mindset. Your mindset goes through some challenges during that time too. It's really important. What are you feeding your mind when you're going through this stage of life? Are you reading good stuff? Are you hanging around with the right people? Are you getting involved with different organizations that can help you be a better person? So all of those things come into play. Or are you living on a limited income, yet you're spending every night in a restaurant or in a bar just partying it up? If I'm being honest, my young days as a Marine, I probably wasn't living the best life I could have lived with the opportunities that I had around me. I had to learn to take control of that and learn to do that so that I could get above the survival mode. What's really scary is that there are people who never leave survival. They start there and they just never figure it out. And that's one of the reasons that I do what I do as a coach, is to help people figure it out, give them a blueprint, a plan to be able to work their way through life. It's also really important, who you hang around with. I think it was Jim Rohn that once said, we are the sum of the five people that we spend the most time with. Who are you spending time with? During that survival mode or survival level, it's really important to surround ourselves with people who can support us, who can encourage us, who can teach us, right? So we have control over who we hang out with. And believe it or not, you get to make that decision. So sometimes we have to cut the cord with some people who are not very supportive in our situation. So the next level we talk about is stability. Now keep in mind, in the survival mode, you're just trying to pay the bills. You're just trying to get through it. Once you reach stability mode, well, that means you've had some success. Maybe you're 3, 4, 5 years out on your own now. You kind of figured stuff out. You've got some sort of a budget to keep things moving forward. But there's not a whole lot left over at the end of the month. It's better than survival, because usually in survival, you run out of money before you run out of the month, right? But in the stability level, we've gained some credibility in what we're doing as a job. We're earning a relatively decent income for the stage that we're at. We can pay the bills, but there's not much left over to have fun with. When you're in that stability mode, you want to remember this is an opportunity for you to build on the foundation that you set for yourself in survival mode. Hopefully during your survival mode, and certainly once you get into stability mode, you've started to create some good habits. You've got a rhythm to your life. You've got some consistent things going on each and every day to kind of keep you on track and focused on your goals. It's really important to again, stay focused on your emotional well-being. What are you doing to make yourself a better person, to prepare yourself for the next level while you're in stability mode? You're able to maybe put a little bit of money aside, maybe not all that much, but even at this stage, we should start planning for our future. And if we can, even if just 5% of your income into a savings account or into some type of investment for rainy days, because they're still going to come, right? Uh, Creating some strategic planning. Now you're not so much worried about making it. You're kind of worried about, okay, where do I go next? And so strategic planning. What are my skills? What are my talents? How can I merge those together to give me more opportunities to graduate through life? As a Marine, as a young Marine, our primary goal was to just, how do I get to that next rank? How do I get to that next level? And I really don't think it's much different in our civilian life. Once we start moving forward, we start to progress. We want to see, hey, how far can I go? And what's my next level? What's my next step? So stability is a great time when you're in that phase to start making bigger and better plans for yourself. Goal setting is really, really important at this stage. And you're still adapting to change. Things happen. Can't get away from it. So you always want to remain flexible. I call it Gumby. You want to be a little Gumby, flexible with situations that allow you to step and jab, kind of move through life, avoid the worst of the obstacles, avoid any major mistakes, but be able to adapt to the different situations that might present themselves to you. Level 3, we call success. Now, success, has a different definition for a lot of people, but for today's purpose, the level of success simply means you've got things under control. You've made some good progress in your career. You've probably put some money aside. Maybe you're getting ready to maybe you've already bought a house. You're living a pretty good life. You're making enough money. The bills are paid. You're putting money away for those crisis days when they come. And you're not really worrying too much about paying the bills. You're living a decent life. Not quite where you want to be just yet, but you're certainly living a decent life. Now, it's at this stage that we really need to focus on our goal setting, because see, we never really stop growing unless we accept that as the finish line. It's not the finish line. There's so much more to life. Maybe you're 40 years old at this point, maybe 50. At this point, you just got to keep saying to yourself, hey, I have two options. I can keep moving and growing, or I can just stand here. And the problem is, if we just stand here, you're never really just standing still. You're falling backward. So the better choice is to plan for the future. What more can I get accomplished? What really excites me? What am I having fun doing that maybe I can turn it into a new career? Maybe I can help other people. And that brings us up to the next level. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But also remember that survival, stability, success, you may jump in and out of all three of those levels throughout your journey. It's not just because you got there doesn't mean you stay there. We all know people who've had some pretty devastating things happen to them. I mean, I live here in Southwest Florida, and I know some people who, were very, very successful, maybe even into the next stage, which we call significance. And then all of a sudden a hurricane comes through and takes away everything they own, right? That can really bring you to your knees. So we have to understand that none of that is permanent, but you're always flexing and maneuvering and planning, trying to prepare for those opportunities, making sure you have the right insurance coverage, making sure you have enough money in the bank so that you don't have to revert to using credit and your credit cards to overcome a major disaster or a major hurdle in your life. It could be a death in the family, it could be any number of things, right? So success, keep on planning, keep on going, keep on learning. We're all going to go through failures in our journey. So as we go through those failures, don't look at them as failures, look at them as opportunities to learn. What did work, what didn't work, why did that happen, what did I miss? And so always step back out of the circumstance and ask yourself those questions. What could I do differently? Not necessarily better, but what could I do differently that would have helped me avoid this situation? The final level of my 4S's is called significance. And significance, really, if I'm being honest, this is the time when you get to impact the lives of other people. You get to share what you've learned. Maybe you get to share some of the income that you've earned to help out people who are less fortunate. Maybe you're looking at leaving a better legacy for your life and your family so that they'll have something to lean back on and to follow through with. Hey, you know what? My mom, my dad did this. They helped other people. And you know what? I want to spend my life helping other people too. So I'm going to follow that legacy that was left for me. I think it's also really important to emphasize as you get to that significant stage, which for many of us is later in life, maybe mid 60s, late 60s, maybe even 70. Uh, Now, what's your purpose? And for me, purpose is giving back to others, doing the best you can. You've all heard me say, my purpose today is to inspire, to positively impact the lives of others. That gives me a reason to get up every morning. It gives me a reason to do these videos. So once you reach a level of significance, it's time to serve others. If I'm being completely honest with you, there's only one reason that we as humans, are here on this earth, and that's to help our fellow man, to serve at the highest level. At every one of these stages that we're talking about today, survival, stability, success, significance, every one of them, we should be looking for ways to serve others. And if we look for ways to serve others, as my friend Zig Ziglar said, by helping enough other people get what they want, I can have everything that I want. So it's all about service. Really important that we wrap this up with, how can you help others? How can you empower others to be the best that they can be? Perhaps you can get involved in coaching like I have. I've got some experience. Some people say I have some knowledge, and I try to share that the best way I can to help other people kind of walk through their journey, because maybe they're just a few steps behind me, and I can put a hand. I always envision a mountain climber climbing up the mountain with another hand down below, helping someone else climb with them. Right? So empower people to be able to do the best that they can do, be the best that they can be. So look, that's a lot of information today. What did I talk about? I talked about 4 levels of life, from survival to significance. Survival is level 1, that's laying the foundation. Stability is level 2, that's where you're kind of getting things moving in the right direction. Your goal now is just to keep things moving in the right direction. Level 3 is success. I finally made it. No, you didn't. There's still plenty more that you can do. And now we walk into significance. How can you serve and help others at the highest level possible? Hey, I hope this video gave you some things to think about. It's only been about 12 and a half minutes, and I can't cover all of this stuff in very much depth in that time frame, but I want to honor your time. Give some thought. Sit down and write down those 4 stages. Matter of fact, ask yourself the question, what stage are you at right now? And what can you do to move to the next level? By the way, my involvement with Napoleon Hill Institute gives me a lot of tools that I can share with folks that are viewing this video to help you move through those levels and live the best life that you can live. So if you'd like to get some more information about that, there's a link down below. Just go to my landing page. It'll show you all the programs that we offer. Also, feel free to reach out to me here on YouTube and send me a message. I promise you I will reply. I reply to all my messages. And with that, I'd like to say thank you so much for joining me today. It's an honor to be able to bring messages to you each and every week. If you enjoyed this message, please give me a like, share it with somebody that you know that might be able to use the information that I'm providing. And of course, last but not least, don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you next week. Hope you have a great rest of the week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.